stuff like stucco and glass. Now, this was all stuck on the side of this office building this morning. It was all there until the storm.
Second suspect is in jail tonight after a College Station man was robbed and beaten 1 week ago.
You can see again just how fast Burton Creek is running right now. We'll stay on top of that story, and we'll bring you the latest coming up tonight at 10 o'clock. Michael, his parents were notified as soon as this happened. The good news, though, he's back at school for now. If you ask anyone who lives along Deacon Drive, they'll tell you this area is safe and remotely crime-free. That is until last night, Edwin Shar Jr. was murdered in his garage. That perfect setting for them. The problem is that this is in a neighborhood, and you can bet that the residents here aren't going hog wild about their new neighbors.
Begin with breaking news out of College Station, where several residents are in the dark and without air conditioning on this hot June evening due to a power outage. The latest information into our newsroom right now is that there's a down transmission line that feeds the Greens Prairie substation. Currently, there is no power being distributed from that substation, so several College Station utilities customers are without power in the southern end of the city right now. There is still no word on how long the power could be out, and there are also reports coming into our newsroom that the downed power line has sparked a grass fire near the area of William D. Fitch and Arrington Road. Now, we do know that crews are currently in the field trying to fix this problem. We're, of course, going to stay on top of this story. We will have further information as it comes into our newsroom. Well, you may have noticed a low-flying helicopter around BCS today. That helicopter is taking surveys for BTU. There it is, taking off from Easterwood Airport this morning. That helicopter flew in from the Houston area this morning and collected aerial data around Villa Maria and Briarcrest, as well as West Bryan, Welborn, and Milliken communities. The information will help BTU evaluate the conditions of existing lines and also evaluate areas for future power distribution.
Today we have a
laser technology enables them to measure the sag of the power lines, tell them what needs to be replaced, while images are used for mapping the power corridor. And as Kaylee just said, a record heat wave breaking out across the south with temperatures in the 90s. The sustained heat and little rain is making it hard for firefighters to put out several wildfires. Terrell Brown reports. Well, recently officials changed the way storms are classified. For more information on that, you can head to our web channel, KBTX.com. And this Memorial Day weekend, millions of Americans, you can bet they're going to be firing up their grills, but it's going to cost them a little bit more. Prices for steaks, burgers, and pork are going up. Ongoing drought in much of the country has ruined crops, driving feed prices higher. Because of that, ranchers are raising fewer hogs and cattle. And if you're looking to decorate your house with something old or even new, you might want to check out the Brazos County Expo. It's the first ever Brazos Valley Antique Show. It's happening all weekend, well, at least for tomorrow now. More than 50 dealers from across the country are showcasing antiques, from estate jewelry to artwork and even glass repair. The show continues tomorrow from 10 to 4, admission $5 per person. A portion of the proceeds will go towards promoting breast cancer awareness and also benefiting the Brazos Animal Shelter.
I think what you need to know.
Sounds great. Well, the show again will continue tomorrow, 10 to 4, and admission $5 to get into the door per person. Well, coming up, could hormone therapy help with hot flashes for women going through menopause? And later in sports, we talk Texas Aggie baseball as A&M waits for word on their postseason fate. In tonight's Health Scene, new research suggests that scientists have come full circle on hormone therapy.
We have been here about 45 minutes now, so we'll be at about an hour and a half when they show up.
In Leona,
5 to 1.
Residents wait to welcome home a hero.
I have 125.
However, it's not the type of homecoming anyone wanted.
There's just no greater love than you can show to lay down your life for, in this case, your country.
Today is one of the last times Leona will see Sergeant Wade Daniel Wilson.
It's just sad.
22-year-old Marine was killed during combat in Afghanistan 1 week ago.
I'm thinking about his mother, what she's going through. I can't even imagine.
Jet SEAL, like many, didn't even know Wilson.
Just beginning to live.
But she knows the sacrifice he paid for his country.
I think it takes a strong person to do that. Somebody gives their life in your country.
In this small town, it's an appreciation that will last a lifetime.
The flags that you see all up and down the highway, the yellow ribbons that's all up and down the highway.
And beyond.
Every bit of that is just a minuscule thing of how much we do support them. But all together, it makes a big thing.
In Leona, Daniel Armbruster, News 3.
There used to not be any sun at all. I mean, this was like complete shade.
When Linda Scheidler walks out into her yard, she says sometimes she doesn't know what season it is.
But every time my eyes drift up, and instead of looking at the skyline of beautiful leaves and birds and squirrels everywhere, it's dead limbs. It's like winter.
It was 1 year ago. The unthinkable happened.
My son says, wow, look at, we're gonna have rain. There's a big rain cloud. Then all of a sudden it started settling and we were like, oh my gosh, that's a cloud, that's smoke. It doesn't even look like the same land.
In the heat of summer, Scheidler's world looked like the dead of winter.
It started snowing ashes on me.
Firefighters have been able to get the upper hand on the Dyer Mill fire that's been burning in Grimes County for 4 days.
Scheidler and her family evacuated. Days passed before they could return, not knowing what they would come home to.
Oh, the trailer's gone, it burnt!
My husband was really freaked out. He thought for sure the house had made it.
31 homes and 5,000 acres turned to ashes.
Got 2 kittens.
Scheidler lost everything.
Our home, our lockbox even burned. We're talking no paperwork. We have no birth certificates.
Today, she's trying to mend her family's life back together.
You can see this is plates and dishes.
Meanwhile, Grimes County is under a burn ban, and some, but not all fireworks are prohibited.
We have not gotten enough rain out here to do that.
Scheidler wants to see all of them banned, hoping no one has to endure a life.
This whole driveway was lined with dogwood trees.
That on the warmest days can seem so cold.
It's been the hardest year of our lives.
In Grimes County, Daniel Armbruster, News 3. 21 checks.
And these are checks that she wrote to herself.
And $78,000 later,
signed and cashed.
James Locke is trying to find his retirement.
I put as much money as I physically can into a retirement account, but it wasn't going in there.
Police think they may have found it here, in the home of 47-year-old Deborah Yates. Yates is accused of taking blank checks and filling them out to herself.
I guess it's kind of like a woman being raped by a friend.
Locke says Yates was making $24 an hour as an office manager at his business.
Her trip to Las Vegas.
But living the life of the CEO.
Carnival cruise reservations for her and her family. We've got them all.
Locke became suspicious when Yates began making big purchases. He says included big screen TVs for her children and a new car that can all be found here. While Deborah Yates would not come outside to talk to News 3, police say she is cooperating with them.
She did, visit with detectives that day, and she did turn herself in whenever she promised to turn herself in.
Locke is cooperating with police as well.
I've got full confidence that we'll bounce back to it.
And says his business will survive.
You trust somebody, and the entire time they're sitting there doing something behind your back.
But he won't soon forget what happened.
And just because I've hired somebody to do it, doesn't mean it's still not my responsibility. It is my responsibility. And so I'm going to pay attention to it.
In College Station, Daniel Armbruster, News 3.